We have another low price laptop again, and this is the Lenovo IdeaPad 1 with the codename 14AMN7. It's priced at 629 AUD or 845 SGD, and we are also getting a rather powerful slew of hardware too. We have the Ryzen 7 7320U, 8GB of RAM, which we'll get into later, and 256GB of SSD. Sounds compelling? What's the cash? Let's find out in today's review. We'll have to start out our expectations straight. This is a 14-inch laptop and it does look good, and it does feel good to the touch as well, but it is indeed using a plastic body, but that is fine for me since this entire laptop is rather lightweight. One thing that I realized that I liked is the bottom piece, which is kind of like an unpolished plastic. It's a bit rough to the touch, but I do like the textures on it, so if you want to hold this laptop like this, then it actually provides a lot more grip. Now let's jump to the specs. It has this list of hardware, and looking at the specs alone, this should be a rather powerful laptop, right? Well, actually yes, but here is where AMD's is at fault. The Ryzen 3 7320U is actually based on the Zen 2 architecture, which was first debuted in 2019, and in short, this chip is using a rather dated technology at this point, but that is to be expected because this is a rather low-end Ryzen series of chips. Nonetheless, the quad-core processor with its AMD Radeon 610M integrated graphics can actually push out quite a lot of frames, like what we've shown here with Genshin Impact at the lowest graphical settings. I mean, we're getting around 30 FPS, and I would say that is playable overall, so I think that's okay. We are testing the laptop using the highest fan speed mode, by the way. We can toggle the modes by hitting FN plus Q buttons, and we can change between a total of 3 profiles. But even at the highest fan speed mode, the fan wouldn't ramp up to the point that it's loud and whiny because the entire system won't be that power hungry anyway. While on the spec sheets it says that this chip will only take in 15 watts, we actually saw it consistently taking slightly above 15 watts. In this mode, while playing Genshin Impact, the temperature is always below 70 degrees Celsius, but that doesn't matter much, I'm just pointing it out to you. Now let's talk about the RAM again. This laptop does come with 8GB of RAM, but we can only actually use 6GB of it. The remaining 2GB is permanently allocated to be the VRAM for the Radeon 610M integrated graphics, and that is why when I'm browsing the web on Google Chrome and whatnot, my tabs are always getting suspended. The keyboard is also quite okay. It's springy to type on and there's quite a deep travel distance too. The thing I like the most is actually the AccuType keycap design, which has a little overhang at the bottom of the keycap, so that actually improves your typing experience quite a lot. The trackpad is also okay, so no complaints overall. Palm rejection is great, and that's all that matters to me. But I do use an external mouse most of the time. And speaking of an external mouse, I like the port selection and placement on this laptop as well. It has all of the ports that we need, like the SD card reader, and we also have one USB 2.0 port at the right side that is dedicated for an external mouse. Which is why I say I'm okay with it, and the placement is also very good. The battery life isn't exactly the best, as we can only get about 5 hours. It's rather good despite its relatively small 40 watt-hour battery. Now, for the upgrades that we can do, well, technically we can't really do much other than just swapping out the SSD. And this is the second time that I encountered a Lenovo laptop that is not using a standard M.2 2280 SSD, but we can swap it to a standard M.2 2280 SSD if we want to, but we'll have to void the warranty. This is the first time that I am seeing a warranty sticker on the SSD screw. And finally, the price. At 629 AUD or 845 SGD, this laptop should be around 1,800 ringgit, and the reason why I don't know the actual price is because this specific variant is not available in Malaysia. As far as I can tell, it's only available in Australia, Singapore, and Indonesia. Regardless of the availability issue, the only issue that I have with this laptop is the screen. It's a 14-inch 1080p screen with 60Hz, but it's a TN panel. Yes, a TN panel, and this screen never looks good because whatever viewing angle that we are at, it just looks horrible. We tested it using our colorimeter as well, and it only reached 59.79% of sRGB color gamut, and the maximum brightness is only 250 nits. Everything else about this laptop is actually very good. Still, I wouldn't mind if Lenovo wanted to increase the price of this laptop by just a little bit so that we can get a 1080p IPS LCD screen. Doesn't have to be the most color accurate screen ever, but the viewing angle is very important. But we are also planning yet another video where we talk about how you can upgrade your laptop's screen. So yes, it is actually possible. This is the Lenovo V14, and as you can see here, this screen is fantastic and it was using a TN panel as well. So I went through the journey of upgrading the screen and it looks absolutely gorgeous now. So if you want to know more about how you can upgrade your laptop screen, then stay subscribed because that video will come soon too. So that's it, that's all we have to share with you about the Lenovo IdeaPad 1 with the codename 14AM-N7 if I remember correctly. It's a budget laptop and the only problem I have with it is the screen. So yeah, if you have any questions, do leave them down in the comment section below and we'll see you guys in the next video.